Now that almost everyone outsources their thinking to AI, the people who can actually think for themselves stand out more than ever. And as a creator or a business owner, the ability to come up with good ideas is the single most valuable skill you can have, because good ideas make you unique and memorable, and that will 10x your chances of going viral. So in this video, I'm going to show you everything that you need to come up with your best ideas so you can stand out and actually grow your YouTube channel or any other business that you have. So let's get into it. So the first thing is thinking outside of the box, and that box is your business model. When most small creators or business owners need to come up with ideas, the first thing they usually do is study their direct competitors and idols. For example, if you run a fitness YouTube channel, you only look at other fitness YouTube channels. When you are a book writer and you need a title for your book, you just look at other book titles. And I get why people do this. It feels smart and safe because it essentially feels like you're just learning from the best. But it's actually doing the opposite of what you think. I'm gonna show you exactly what happens when you keep limiting yourself like this, and I promise it's gonna make you never want to do it again. Limiting your creativity to only your own business model is exactly like a small town where everyone only breeds with their cousins. And we all know what happens then. When there's no fresh blood coming in, the kids come out dumber, uglier, and more deformed with every single generation, until you don't even have a human anymore, you just have a slob of shit. And ideas work the exact same way. When everyone only takes inspiration from this small little circle and nothing new ever comes in from the outside, the ideas get weaker, dumber, and more washed up with every round of copying. You basically get inbred ideas, and we don't want that. So if you actually want to stand out and come up with good ideas, you should stop limiting yourself to your own niche and start pulling inspiration from outside of it. And here's exactly how you can do that. Every time you need to come up with an idea for your YouTube channel or your business, you do two things. First, study your own space. Look around and figure out what works, what doesn't work, and most importantly, what your audience actually wants. This step is important because it gives you a clear understanding of the game you're in. And for the next step, you expand your creative input. You give your mind more raw material to work with than just your competitors and idols. For example, when you need a title or a name for something, don't only look at what others in your niche are doing. Look at newspaper headlines, book titles, and ads. When you need ideas about something to actually talk about, or like the substance of your content, then pay attention to the conversations you overhear on the streets, the arguments the people around you have, the things your friends complain about, and overall what the people around you care about, struggle with, and what their desires are. When you need anything visual, like a thumbnail, a cover, or a design for something, then look at book covers, movie posters, ads, magazines, and Pinterest. When you combine these two things, the knowledge of what already works in your space, and you mix it with fresh inspiration and raw material from the outside, you will get an amazing idea that will both stand out because it's new and interesting, and will also perform really well because you did your research and it's grounded in logic and data. Now let's move on to the next thing, and this is probably the most useful one and also my personal favorite. The second thing is your ability to form your own opinions and original takes on things, whether it's in your content or just in a normal conversation. You probably notice this in yourself or in other people, that when a topic comes up, whether it's in a YouTube video or just in a random conversation, that most people don't actually have much of their own to say about it. They just repeat whatever they have heard other people say. The same opinions and the same surface level points that everyone already agrees on. And obviously it's a huge problem, especially if you're a creator or a business owner, because your entire job is to stand out. People follow you for your perspective and your way of seeing things. If all you do is repeat what everyone else already said, you give people no reason to choose you over someone else who already said the same thing. And then we obviously have the type of people that always say something smart, something that makes everyone go like, oh, I never thought about it like that, and it feels like these people are just naturally smarter and there's nothing you can do about it. Having original smart takes isn't something you're necessarily born with. It comes from a specific habit, and once you understand it, you can start applying it to your own content and life as well. So in order to come up with your own smart opinions and good takes, the only thing you need to start doing is consuming information on purpose with the specific intent to challenge it, agree, disagree, disagree, improve, or connect it to your own life. Here's what I mean. Let's say you want to make a YouTube video about how to be confident, or you just want to get better at it yourself. Now, instead of forcing yourself to come up with something out of nothing, you go and consume information about it on purpose, like an educational video, a book, or a movie. But the way you consume it is gonna be completely different from how most people do it. When most people consume new information, they usually just take it at face value and copy it straight to their own content. But you are going to use it to challenge it and come up with your own ideas. For example, let's say you want to make a YouTube video about charisma. To come up with ideas, you first read someone else's book on it. In the book, they say that to be charismatic, you need to be warm and friendly. Now, something in you disagrees. You think that's not really true. Some of the most charismatic people are actually cold and mysterious. And because you formed your own opinion, your brain instantly starts recalling memories and reasons for why you think that. Then, once you've got your idea, you can strengthen it by doing research and find studies that back your point and make it stronger. When you put something in front of your mind, like a sentence in a book, a movie line, or someone else's opinion, your mind instantly does something with it. It either agrees, disagrees, improves it, or recalls a memory. Every one of these is an idea that you can use. So the next time you need an idea for your content, or you just want to get smarter at a certain topic, do not sit with nothing. Consume information and actively focus on either challenging it, agreeing with it, disagreeing, improving it, or connecting it to your own life. So, to bring this all together, when you need an idea, do not limit yourself to your little box. And do not try to come up with something out of nothing. Instead, study your own space to understand what actually works. Then feed your mind with inspiration from outside of your niche to bring in something new and interesting. And finally, consume information but actively think for yourself instead of just absorbing it. The main point behind all of this is that you give your brain more material to work with. You give it things to bounce off of and combine together. And if you have something else you're struggling with or feel like you need help with, let me know in the comments. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.